We're back on North Dakota Today. We are an Aero Service Team. Howard Lyer is joining me this morning, and we're going to be discussing some things that pertain to fall and how you can get ready for the fall and really do your furnace a favor. Before we do that, Howard, we talk to Chad very frequently, but I want to talk to you because you're the founder of Aero Service Team. Let's go back to the late 70s when you guys decided, you know what, there's a calling for this kind of service. What was the mindset behind starting Aero?
Well, Aero was actually a small company called Aero Cleaning Service at that time, and I did purchase the carpet cleaning side of it back in April of '79, and then we slowly expanded the company into fire and water damage and reconstruction and ductwork cleaning, furnace and ductwork cleaning through the years.
You guys have always found a niche, a place where there is more call, because like you say, you start out as a carpet cleaning place, and pretty soon you are restoring old pictures and documents and things like that. How do you grow as a company and the vision that's required to see what the needs are?
Well, first of all, it takes a lot of education and training. And so we participated in a lot of training seminars around the country and got certified so we could certify our people, our in-house people. And as the need grew, at first I would get people asking me about water damage because I did a lot of carpet cleaning, and they would say, hey, my carpet's flooded, and they'd call me and say, oh, I'll be right over. It didn't matter if it was 10 o'clock at night or whenever it was.
Or Christmas Day or whatever was going on.
That's all that happened, yes.
Okay, and now you've grown. This is a family business. Your sons are here. You and your wife have been involved in this. You've grown to where you've got offices not only in Bismarck, but in Dickinson, and you've got tons of employees, tons of vehicles and things like that. As you look back at it, Howard, and we'll get into talking about what we came here to talk about, but as you look back at it, could you ever envision the Aero Service Team becoming this kind of a company?
I never thought it would ever grow to be this big. And I did get some help along the way from having some real good employees with me and training and going to seminars like I mentioned earlier. But when my sons got through college, and Chad, the oldest one, and Tyler, the youngest one, both decided to come back into the company, that's when I had the strength to really, with their backing, to start growing it even more and supporting more people and more employees. Yeah,
and it makes a big difference when you've got that kind of backing and that kind of familial help to help you grow. All right. We are in the middle of August now, and it won't be long, and the ACs will be turned off, and we're going to be kicking in the furnace. And there's something that Aero Service Team offers that you want to talk about today, and that's making sure that your system, not just the furnace, but the entire system is cleaned.
That's right. It's very important to make sure that your air handling system, your furnace, and your HVAC system is cleaned. And we recommend the best time to do it is usually the fall, when the system is not creating heat and it's not really doing a lot of cooling. That's a good time to do it because it's not working, and it's a great time to have your doors open to get in there and do the work and clean it.
If the average homeowner needs this kind of work done, are we talking a full day that it'll take you? Is it a couple of hours? What's the time frame?
Well, it depends on the size of the house and the number of vents that it has. An average size home, 3-bedroom home, 2-level, probably you should figure about 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, some of the benefits are allergies and getting rid of odors and things like that. What are some of the things that having this done will be a benefit to you as a homeowner?
Well, as you said, allergies. Another thing is if homeowners see that they have dust constantly on their end tables or their shiny surfaces, there's probably a real good chance they need to have their ductwork cleaned. Also, if you have pets, there's pet dander and things like that floating around. And so it's just so much more beneficial to have it clean. Also, your HVAC system won't have to work as hard if it's clean, which can save long-term repairs and maintenance repairs.
Absolutely. You're calling Aero Service Team instead of somebody that's there to fix your furnace or things like that. Now, we talk about the fall because that's what we're approaching here, but you said if it should be done either in the fall or the winter. Again, you don't want to do it in July when the air conditioner is running or January when you need the heat.
Well, you can do it. It's just that it's a little more uncomfortable for the homeowner. You can do it anytime. It's more difficult to do it in the winter when it's super cold, because if you have the furnace off for 4 to 6 hours in North Dakota weather, we all know what can happen. It's very cold.
Yeah, your dogs and your cats do not like you for that period of time that the furnace is turned off. What does Aero do? You've got a little bit of a display here of what actually takes place when Aero comes out there. Do you guys analyze the needs that you have, or do you pretty much know if it hasn't been done for a while, it's going to need to be cleaned?
Well, we generally know what it's going to take to clean it, but we make an inspection, remove all the vents, take mirrors and lights and cameras and look through all the vents and the ductwork, inspect the furnace itself, the air handler unit, and then usually what's done is there's negative air put onto the cold air return side, and then you blow positive air through, and this is just what's called a whip, and you put a pressure hose on here and you feed it in, and when the air comes out, it comes out of all these little tubes right here, and this thing whips around like crazy, makes a lot of noise and beats the ductwork but knocks the dust loose, and there's suction sucking it out to our machine outside at the same time, removing all the allergens, the particles, and all that.
I would imagine these small little fibers, or these small little capillaries, for lack of a better word, when there's air being forced through there, that comes through with a lot of pressure.
They do, and it whips really hard. It's very noisy. You can't even talk to the guy beside you.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, especially in the metal ductwork. It makes a lot of noise.
Howard, how often should a person do this? And I know each house is going to be different. If you've got 6 dogs as opposed to no pets in the house, it's going to make a big difference. But on average, what would you say the average person should have this done?
I would say about every 2 years would be an average. Like you said, if there's a bunch of pets in the house and a large family with a lot of traction, you may need to do it annually. If you have carpeting, it seems that houses with carpeting seem to hold more dust.
Yeah.
Now more houses are getting more hard surfaces now, so the people are. It's easier for the homeowners to keep the dust under control, and there it seems like they can go a little longer.
I think there are those cosmetic improvements that something like this would do, like we talked about, the odor in the house and the dust and things like that. But I think the big overall riding picture is if you've got a furnace or an AC unit that doesn't nearly have to work as hard because it's a clear path that it's trying to send the air through, it's going to make a big difference in how long the life of it is and how often you're going to have to do some maintenance on it.
Oh, absolutely. It makes a huge difference. The air handler will move more air if there's no restrictions. And another thing that's really important for people that aren't doing their ductwork regularly is to at least change the furnace filter 2 times a year. Every spring before the AC unit kicks in, and every fall after the cooling season. And we like to see them make a note on their furnace filter the date it was changed.
Sure.
Then
I
you
do that,
remember when you did it.
Absolutely, and there are times I'll go look and go, okay, I'm still good because I put a date on there. All right, and don't forget to clear out the AC outside unit now this fall before you shut off the AC for good, because then you're ready to go in the spring, and because there's a lot of cotton that'll gather there and things like that. Just one other tip. All
Absolutely.
Right. Howard, where do we find Aero Service Team?
Aero Service Team, we're located on 2925 East Broadway here in Bismarck, and we're here to serve the surrounding community.
Sounds great. Give them a call as well. The information is there on the screen. Howard Lowry, thank you so much. Appreciate your time on this.
Thank you, Wayne.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're back. We've got more coming up on North Dakota Today in a moment.